Hey everybody, Torsar here with another sports talk video. And I would just like to say today I am glad to be talking about sports because, man, if you go anywhere else, politics, stuff going on in the country right now with the bang bang boom boom. Even on ESPN, I believe the top story right now is about some Major League Baseball player involved in domestic abuse. It's just insane. And I hear from people, oh, Americans watch too much sports. You guys are always distracted and not thinking about what you. Can you blame us? People need the distraction. Yeah, it can be a little bit overboard sometimes, but I'm not going to blame anyone for not wanting to actually poke their head out into reality and look at what's going on. If it's your job to do something about it, then do your job. Otherwise, people just want to go to work, come home, and do the stuff that they like. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you're a productive member of society. Anyway, that's as far as I'm going to go on that. Today I wanted to talk about something that I really shouldn't have to talk about, but because of people like Nick Wright, that just they take a stance and they just won't come down off the ledge no matter how much information is presented that just proves them wrong. Particularly him, he's had something against the Giants for years. Swears up and down. Daniel Jones this, Daniel Jones that. Daniel Jones isn't a top 10 QB in the NFL. You know what? Daniel Jones is a top 10 QB in the NFL. First of all, what do people always say? Oh, you can't go off what you did in the past. What have you done for me lately? That's what the NFL is, right? What have you done for me lately league? It always has been. It always will. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are both under fire right now because they did not have very good seasons. Let's just face it. And an old NFL adage is to get rid of a player a year early rather than a year too late. So, when you're talking about Daniel Jones, it's like people lose their minds because they just want to look at certain stats, certain numbers that they think prove their points, and they just totally forget that no matter who you are, you can't do it by yourself. Why did Tom Brady go to Tampa Bay? Because they had a really good offensive line and offensive weapons. There were other teams he could have gone to. Besides what people were calling the Tampa Bay Succaneers. No, he went to Tampa Bay for a reason. And when you tell me that Daniel Jones isn't a top 10 QB, I say, okay, well, let's look at this. Let's look at the New York Giants stats leaders, okay? Now, his top two wide receivers this year were Richie James and Isaiah Hodgins. I know Darius Slayton is up there, but you know what? I don't think anyone can disagree if Isaiah Hodgins, who, by the way, was cut from the Buffalo Bills in November, was in and out of their practice squad and onto the regular roster, back and forth, and they finally just cut him in November and we picked him up. If he had played for us all year, he would have been our number one wide receiver. A 6th-round draft pick that was cut from someone else's practice squad. Richie James, a 7th-round draft pick. Released by the San Francisco 49ers. Darius Slayton. Decent, but, yardage-wise was our best wide receiver this year. But, is anyone scrambling to pick up Darius Slayton? Saquon Barkley, our running back, tied for the most receptions this year. All right? Everyone knows what's a quarterback's favorite weapon or favorite safety valve, safety blanket, whatever you want to call it, the tight end position, right? Daniel Bellinger. Not bad. He only played 12 games. 30 receptions for 268 yards. That's his safety valve. Sterling Shepard was injured. Kenny Golladay. He was supposed to be that great free agent pickup last year. There are how many guys this year in the NFL had better games than this guy had a season? This isn't a typo. 6 receptions for 81 yards. He played in 12 games. That was his season. These are his weapons. And guys who looked horrible when they were on the New York Giants. You know, Evan Ingram goes to Jacksonville, and all of a sudden he can mysteriously, catch the ball. I don't think that had anything to do with Daniel Jones. I'm not even sure how good Kadarius Toney has been with the Chiefs, but I mean, it's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, all right? You can't say, well, he was better with the Chiefs than he was with the Giants. Well, no, duh. That's the best quarterback-coach combo in the whole league. Now, you would see all this and say, well, Torsar, you're going to really have to make your case because, I mean, Daniel Jones, how can he even be, near the top? He's probably like, 13th, 14th in QBR, so you're really going to have to make a stretch to say he's the top 10 QB in the NFL this year and going forward. Okay, let's look at the 2022 NFL season leaders for total QBR. Now, there's all sorts of stats you can use, whatever. I think we can all agree, quarterback rating, whatever, those numbers can be overinflated sometimes. The QBR is the quarterback stat, right? Okay, so let's look at it. Now, before I even show this, where do you think Daniel Jones ranks? You think I'm really going to have to stretch this to make a case? 11th, 12th, 13th? Some of the guys, who do you think are above him and below him? You're going to be surprised. Because the running game factors into this too. Remember, Saquon Barkley had a really good season, over 1,300 yards rushing in a true 16-game season because he didn't play in that last game. See, games played 16. We sat him in week 17, or in week 18 in the 17th game. So he played a true old-school 16-game season, right? Daniel Jones was our second leading rusher, over 700 yards. Our third was Matt Breida with 200-something yards. So it's not like our running game was like a stunner either. Daniel Jones is pretty much our second running back. Okay, so let's look at the QBR. Patrick Mahomes, 1. Josh Allen, 2. Tua, 3. Look at Tua's weapons. Jalen Hurts, 4. Jared Goff, 5. That's actually shocking. Way to go, Jared Goff. Geno Smith, 6. Another shocker. Oh, look at that. Look at who's next. Daniel Jones. Wow. And Jacoby Brissett. Look at how those guys get up in there. Man, QBR must, it must add in these things that, people just don't account for. Look at the guys that are under him. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, Tom Brady, Kyler Murray, one of the people. These are some of these people that, the sage Nick Wright listed ahead of him. Kyler Murray. Most people would probably say Derek Carr. These are the guys that aren't the obvious ones, right? Never mind, look at Aaron Rodgers all the way down here at 26th. Whew. And I think if you asked your average everyday man on the street who had a better year, Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones, or who's a better quarterback right now in the NFL, Daniel Jones or Aaron Rodgers, most num-nums are probably going to say Aaron Rodgers. And it's just so far in between what they did for their teams last year. I mean, I just can't even believe that people still hold to this notion that, never mind, okay, if you don't want to say he's a top 10 QB in the NFL, maybe the QBR isn't the all-encompassing stat. There's other factors. But even then, is he 11th? Is he 12th? So you have people that are arguing still whether the Giants should even re-sign him. Overreactionary Giants fans who just looked at the score in that last game, and somehow, as usual, it's It's just the dumb thing to just, let's blame the QB because the QB didn't have a good season. It's just knuckleheaded. It's insane. I'm sorry. Daniel Jones has been much better than people think he has, considering the Giants' weapons that they put around him, the O-line, the running game. Saquon has not been healthy. This is the first year he's been healthy in a long time, and you see what they did, and people will sit there and say, oh, well, 15 touchdowns. Is that a number that you're looking for? Look at the wide receivers he was throwing to. Could you imagine if he had a A.J. Brown or a Tyreek Hill? A Justin Jefferson? Hell, a Devontae Adams? Get him a weapon. Get him a secondary running back so he doesn't have to do that all the time. Now, you still want to have Daniel Jones running, but 708 yards rushing? And that just goes to show. Vanilla Vic, Vanilla Vic, he's got game. He deserves a contract, maybe not the top tier, $300 million guaranteed or whatever people think Lamar Jackson is going to get. But is he really that far off from Lamar Jackson? And I know it's just so hard. People are going to want to go back and they just have this mindset. Oh, Daniel Jones. No, you have to go off this last year. The team is moving forward. We're not going back in the past. Sorry, the Giants are not going back in the past. Now, you may want to discredit me because I'm a small little YouTuber. Oh, what do you know? But you know what? Pay attention to my videos. Pay attention to what I'm saying. My track record is going to start to add up. What was the video I made yesterday? Should the Cowboys trade Dak Prescott? Some people may think I'm insane by even asking that question. Now look what's all over the news today. The Dallas Cowboys making a statement about how, Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions in a game that the defense gave us a chance to win. Oh, does that seem so insane now? And I just will say, I don't want to do too much back padding, but just pay attention to the calls I make, to the subjects that I bring up, that you will see here first before you see them on the national media. And maybe one day this will be the national media. Maybe one day this will be the channel you go to first. But pay attention, because these calls, you're seeing them here first. You're seeing the games picked correctly. I'm going to try to keep my fandom out of it. The more and more I get into this, the deeper and deeper I get into this. I can't hide the fact now that I'm a Giants fan. Just like Skip Bayless, he's more of a maniacal Cowboys fan than probably I am even a Giants fan. So that doesn't always preclude you from being a top national media. Yes, the guys that call the games try not to take sides, but if Troy Aikman's calling a Dallas Cowboys game, do you not think he's somewhat subjective? He's somewhat biased, of course. These guys all are. You can hear it. You could see it in the way they call the games. So that's all I'd like to say. I know I'm a little bit heated right now, but very often I make these calls and I see this stuff before these highly paid guys on TV and other people in the national media do. And that's all I'm going to say to end this video. Just pay attention, because you're going to see it here first. Everyone, have a great rest of your day. Stay healthy. Peace.